floor is yours. So if you got questions or anything, drop them in the chat and we will hop to it. In the meantime, I don't know if you guys have noticed, we did do some, we've got some updates coming down the line with the software. The form builder is basically done. We're adding a survey function to that. So the reason why it hasn't hit your account yet is because that part of it is not done and tested. I have a start of it in my account right now, but because I'm special, we haven't released it to yours yet, basically trying to break it. So, but the whole point in that is, like, we know that our landing page builder serves a function, and the landing page builder's function is to collect leads, collect information. They're supposed to be simple, quick, easy pages. But we have a lot of people that are using or wanting to use like full websites and all that kind of stuff, which is totally fine. It works. Our system is just not ideal for that. This form builder is going to allow you to take a short code and put it on whatever website you're using. And, that way you can have all of the function of Funnelbolt without having to use our landing page builders or zap anything in and out or anything like that. So we figured we had all the nuts and bolts for it laying around anyway, so we figured we'd throw it together and add this to the system. So that should be, dare I say, by the end of the week, should be done. And that, I think, is going to be probably one of the last like big updates before we make some other like back end changes on pricing and stuff like that. That way, those of you that are in can start to like make some money with the system, with affiliate and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the hope. And I guess since I don't have any more questions I don't have any questions in chat at this point. Angel just came on. I might as well tell you about the accelerator that we have. We have 2 more weeks left in our accelerator. We have gone through, let me see here. This week we are working on automations. So we just got all those videos out. So we're going through the systems that we use to automate things and work in conjunction with Funnelbolt. Pipeline production, which Angel went in heavy on. Streamlining your onboarding. Zach is talking about hiring and outsourcing. Next week, we're diving into Facebook ads, which it's like trying to hit a moving target, but it'll be good if depending on where you're at. We've seen a lot of different changes, and I'm going to do the best I can to kind of bring you those changes. Google ads, YouTube, SEO. Zach has told me for the last 2.5 weeks he's been working on the SEO portion for next week. So that should be very good as well. Google Maps. And then week 7, so this will be 2 weeks from now, we've got Slack and Asana and like virtual assistants and all that kind of stuff. So the accelerator is full of good material. So if this training, if you get any value out of this, you're going to get a lot more out of the accelerator. We really open it up. You guys have the floor. So if you have any questions, we're happy to answer any of those questions. But the accelerator allows us a lot more time and research to give you some real value. So at any rate.
So Sam's in it right now inside the accelerator. What have you thought so far, Sam?
Oh, I love it. I'm learning quite a bit. It's actually a lot more to it than I thought too. And I'm learning and still trying to piece it all together. But I'm an old man, so I'm a little behind the game as far as all you techie kids. So but I'm learning one thing at a time, and trying to piece it all together. And
For sure.
Trying to get like a step by step. I'm hoping to kind of come up with an SOP that more or less works for me on it, but I have such a better understanding of everything thanks to you guys. So
Awesome, man.
yeah.
So let's talk about, because I see some new faces on here for the first time. I'm looking at, we see David, we got Xavier in the house, we got Tony. Let's talk a little bit about you guys. What brought you guys onto this call? What brought you guys to Funnelbolt? How are you guys using Funnelbolt? What kind of business do you guys have? Give us a little introduction, if you guys don't mind, kind of about what brought you guys into this ecosystem. Let's start with Xavier.
Hello, Angel.
What's going on, Xavier? How are you, brother?
Fine. I'm from Spain.
Sweet, man. That's awesome.
Well, I'm really excited about your product, and I think I can apply it to some clients as an agency.
Okay.
Because I'm planning to make a website, a simple websites, in order to get leads from the site and link with the mail campaigns.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
And I'm start to discovering everything now.
So how many clients are you currently working with, Xavier? What kind of clients do you work with?
Still known.
0.
I'm just starting now. Yes.
You're just trying to build all your systems and just getting everything set up.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you have an idea who you want to work with at all, or?
Yeah.
Who's that?
Real estate.
Real estate. It's a really good niche. So, like anybody who's building a business right now, what their focus should be on, the systems are all great, but focus on, Xavier, how you can generate conversations today. That's what you should focus on right now, because once you can get people on a conversation where you can actually, walk them through what you can help them with, that's what's going to help you build your systems, because they're going to give you feedback on the things that they want or what they're looking for and things of that nature. And then that's going to allow you to optimize your system and build the perfect offer for real estate, right? Or you could just go find someone who's already doing it and figure out what they're doing for real estate and do the exact same thing, just model it, make it your own, and go out to market with that. So you have a lot of different things, but I wouldn't focus too much on systems right now, because you have no one to set the systems up for.
I don't know anyone that can make something like this here.
Oh, in Spain. So you're talking about doing this in Spain for people in Spain, doing real estate in Spain.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So you have a blue ocean.
Yeah, I expect so.
Yeah. So, and are you gonna run these in Spanish? Are you gonna run campaigns in Spanish?
Yes, I expect to make some campaign with Facebook, with Facebook ads or Google ads. I don't know.
In Spanish, though, or in English?
In Spanish.
So here's an idea, Xavier. I just want to give you this idea. I want to plant this seed in here just to give you an idea that I thought was always a great idea that I'd never seen anyone implement. Okay. And this might be how you build your business. So because you're really good at Spanish and building campaigns, and now you have Funnelbolt as a system that you can build automation campaigns for people, right? Taking your Spanish language, go out and find agency owners who have clients that, have English clients, but also can run Spanish campaigns, because every business can, and then offer that as a service. Hey, I can go in and build the exact campaigns that you have, the exact same ads that you have in Spanish, and I'll manage that for you through my system, or I can build it and, send it to your system, whatever you want to do, but you can offer that as a service, and that you can easily win right now with, right? And you could tap into the US market with that offer.
Yeah.
And charge good. US dollar versus, what is the Spaniard dollar you guys have over there?
Sorry?
The Spaniard dollar, it's worth less than the US, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, right. So if you could just go into the US, you live in Spain?
Yes.
So imagine just building your business, charging clients in the US and living in Spain, dude. That's what I would do.
Thank you.
Does that help?
Thank you. Yes.
Ad space is much cheaper in Spanish in the US.
Oh yeah. And you have so many, 9 out of 10 agency owners don't speak any other language other than English. And so all their clients and all their campaigns are English based, when you have an entire Spanish market that's untapped, because they just don't have someone who knows how to speak it and write campaigns and use the psychology of, you know what I'm talking about. It's Spanish is a little bit different than English, and the psychology there and the language is different. So if you're not Spanish, then you don't know how to build out those campaigns.
So contact those agencies in the US.
Yeah, be like,
offer my services in Spanish.
I'm looking to work with agencies in the US. My offer is that I can take the campaigns that you have and push them into a Spanish market. I can rewrite your ads in Spanish. I can redo all your campaigns in Spanish, your follow-up campaigns in Spanish. I can rewrite all your emails in Spanish, and I'll have all of this set up so you can now tap into the Spanish market and now supplement your flow of the English-speaking clients you're generating already instantly day one once everything is set up, because it's already, I mean, you're already pumping traffic through that. And you could target Spanish speaking only through ads in every ad platform.
Sounds good.
A lot better than real estate, because you get faster clients and you can go tap into one agency that has, oh yeah, I have 30 clients that I would love that for. All right. And then you became a 7-figure agency owner real fast. Okay. So that's what I would do, Xavier. And that's just an idea. I'm not saying drop everything you're doing to do that. But if you find that, if that sounded good and you have 0 clients right now, then go test it and see what happens. Go pitch it. If you get an agency that says,
nothing to lose.
Test it out.
Nothing to lose apart from time.
You can't lose that. Yeah, it's a win-win, if anything. And then you get feedback on it.
Okay.
But I can guarantee you right now, dude, I have a lot of agency friends. Okay. Agency owner to agency owner. I know a lot of people in the space, and I can guarantee you this right now. That offer that I just shared with you is an offer that I was going to do that I never did, that I'm putting you on.
Okay. I'm here for your service.
It's a need in the market. It's a need in the market, and no one is offering it as a solution.
Okay.
Likewise with any other language too, by the way, but Spanish is the other big pool of people. Make sense?
Okay. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. So David, talk to me, brother. What brought you here? What kind of business do you have? How are you using Funnelbolt? Excited to have you here.
Great to be here. I just, I haven't really gotten into Funnelbolt yet, but I have an IT background, and I have a full-time IT job, and I also have a business which I would like to become my full-time so that I can quit my regular job. So
what's the business in? What do you do?
I do online marketing for small businesses. So reputation marketing, social media, traffic, and funnels and automation. And so the one part of that I would like to get going better, that I have not really gotten going yet, is the email part of that.
So nurturing, like email, like, okay, so there's 2 aspects of email. You talk about cold email, like getting clients and outreach cold, or follow-up email marketing on the back end, nurture sequences. Which one of those are you talking about?
Well, both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah. So for myself, I mean, I'd like to, a while back, I started, I attempted to do a cold email campaign, and it pretty much got shut down right away. So, first I just tried a Gmail account, a free Gmail account. Actually, no, I think I skipped the free Gmail account, but I had a G Suite account, but it still got shut down right away. I mean, even with a very small, I think I started out with like 10 or 20 emails the first day, and they were bouncing immediately. And I took some email, some template emails, but I paraphrased them so that it was not identical to reduce the chance of spam, but I still was getting bounced right away. And I set up the SPF. I set up the SPF, the DMARC, and the DKIM. So I was going to, my next step was going to start over. Instead of using Google, I was going to use either Sendgrid or Mailgun or something along those lines. I've got Never Bounce, so I was validating all of my emails, but so I wanted to kind of figure out how to start over, especially since I was scraping leads. And so you got to be careful, you know, when you're scraping leads, of course you want to validate them to make sure they're not spam traps or anything.
Yep.
But I didn't have a good method in place to like monitor my sender reputation. So I bought a new domain to use just for a new email campaign. And I never got to the point of setting it all up with Sendgrid or Mailgun. So I'd like to do something like that with Funnelbolt.
So right now, just to kind of give and shed light for everyone listening to this, when it comes to cold email, Funnelbolt right now isn't going to be the best system for cold emailing itself, only because of the tracking. You want to know kind of open rates. You want to know bounce rates. You want to know all these things that Funnelbolt right now isn't equipped with at the moment. Okay. When it comes to nurturing sequences and things like that, Funnelbolt is perfect for the nurture, follow-up, and long-term sequences of that nature. Okay.
So your opt-in list.
Your opt-in list. So once they've opted in, or, you know, if you want to build a landing page on Funnelbolt, have them opt in and then campaign after that, perfect for that. But for cold email, there's going to be, you know, better methods that are going to be more effective for you, that puts you a little bit more in control in order for you to know the data that's going to help you improve your campaigns. Because that's the thing. You need to know what's not working and what needs to be improved to be able to, you know, refine and reiterate. So real quick, without getting too technical, without diving deep into cold emailing on it and that topic, because that's a whole masterclass on its own. But if you just want to get started, very basic, okay, that new G Suite you created, perfect. Just don't surpass over 40 emails per day initially, okay, when you're starting out. Make sure you have a signature in your email and an opt-out line, whether it's a line or a link. I usually use a line, reply no if you're not interested, and I'll take you off my list. And so that's just to be in compliance. You already have the DKIM, SPF, and DMARC. Perfect. That's the hardest part. Most people don't understand any of those things. You got that out of the way. Do that again with your new domain. And then the other thing is,
I did warm it up also. I did a warming. Yeah, I spent like a week or so, you know, subscribing to newsletters and stuff just doing one-off emails to warm it up.
Perfect. So if you're not surpassing 30 emails per day and you're cleaning your list and verifying your list, then you shouldn't be getting any bounces as long as you have a signature and a unsubscribe. But it's only bouncing because the emails are bad. Okay. So that's
yeah. So I did all of those things except for the unsubscribe was missing. So maybe that might have been.
So the verifier tool I use is called Blaze Verify. Try that versus Never Bounce. I used Never Bounce a long time ago. I didn't like it too much. Blaze Verify has been my go-to tool for the last 3 years. I would try that to verify.
Blaze?
It's called blazeverify.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Find that is pay as you go, so you don't have to pay up front, but use that to verify and then try it again with the signature and the unsubscribe, DKIM, all the stuff you already did, and just don't surpass 30 emails per day. And you don't even need Sendgrid right now if you just don't surpass the 30 emails per day. So go with that route for now. To integrate Sendgrid, it's a whole nother ball game. You need another tool and all that stuff to kind of connect all those things together. So I would just focus on, you can easily do the thing that you're doing through G Suite servers if you just don't surpass the 30 per day.
Okay. And do you integrate with Sendgrid?
We do, but that's a whole nother topic, which in Funnelbolt, yes, we do. So that would be for the nurture sequences. So everyone in Funnelbolt has a Sendgrid account or a Mailgun account in order for them to integrate their email account with Funnelbolt so that they can send their nurture sequences. So if you were to use Funnelbolt for nurture, you're going to need to integrate your Sendgrid account. Okay.
And I heard Mailgun was a little bit less strict on their policies.
It's not about less strict. It's just they're easier to get into. Sendgrid has just made it very difficult for people to create a new account. So it's because of reputation, and people just started creating accounts and spamming a whole bunch of people. So That's why they've become very strict. It wasn't as strict as before. So Mailgun is just easier for a new user, but I've seen many people get into Sendgrid. They just kind of have to work it.
Okay. And
Yeah.
do you have any, like, would you take one over the other?
I personally use Sendgrid, but I've been using it for like 3+ years.
Mm-hmm.
Sendgrid is my go-to. I don't have a Mailgun account. It's just an alternative that I always recommend, because if you're trying to use the Sendgrid method and use the servers versus G Suite, right? Then Mailgun would be your alternative that is equivalent to Sendgrid. Same thing, just a different company that's just easier to get into. So it's just the best alternative that you have.
Okay. And you integrate with Twilio, right?
Yes, sir. Yep.
And
yep.
do you also integrate with Blaze Verify?
So Blaze Verify is just a verifier tool. That's where you would just upload your email list.
Okay. So I scrape my emails, then I verify them with Blaze Verify, then take the verified list and then upload those to Funnelbolt. And then that'll tie in with, if I want to, I can tie that in with my Sendgrid or Twilio.
So what I would do is, you got your scrape list, download, upload a Blaze Verify, and that spits out a verified list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Now, if you're going to cold email them, you wouldn't upload them into Funnelbolt. You would just take 30 of those emails and use your G Suite account that you have and send cold emails that way through your G Suite account. So you're going to you can open up G Suite, compose, and you can send emails that way.
Okay, so you're recommending not using Funnelbolt until they're an opt-in.
Yes, exactly,
right.
exactly. So so if, let's say you had a landing page, right, and you're driving traffic to that landing page, okay, and then they opt in, then you use Funnelbolt.
But actually, what I'd like to do is I would like to send the cold emails, and as soon as someone opens that email, I'd like to get an immediate alert to call, so that I can call them right away when they're hot, right when they're opening the email.
Gotcha. I mean, if that's all you care about, opens, I mean, Funnelbolt can show you opens. But what I would suggest is to create 2 Sendgrid accounts or 2 Mailgun accounts, because you don't want to use the same Mailgun or Sendgrid account that you're going to be cold emailing on. You don't want to use the same account than the one that you're going to use for follow-up.
Yeah, well, I can get another domain for that.
Correct. And then 2 Sendgrid account or 2 Mailgun accounts, because you need to have it's like considered 2 servers, 1 server for cold email, 1 server for nurture and follow-up, because when you're cold emailing, it can affect your reputation score. That's the problem. And you don't want that to affect the people that are opted in and getting your emails daily or whatever.
So you need totally separate Sendgrid accounts.
You don't affect your reputation score on these 2 different, intentions here.
Okay.
Follow-up isn't going to ruin your reputation score. It's when you're cold emailing and that cold email goes out and it hits a spam box, and then it triggers a red flag that you're sending emails to the wrong type of people or whatever. And bam, it starts to ruin your reputation score. And then that's where your account starts to become at risk if it goes down, because you start with 100% reputation score, but then it starts to go down and it resets every 30 days. So you just got to make sure you're doing things the right way, compliant, so you don't affect your reputation score.
Okay. Do you have a recommended reputation monitoring tool?
Sendgrid does that already automatically.
Okay.
So when you create an account, you'll see it right there at the bottom.
Okay. Yeah, I think I saw something else on AppSumo, but I wasn't sure if it was any good.
I'm not sure. I pay monthly for all my tools. I've never bought anything on AppSumo, to be honest with you. But it's been a crazy ride. All of a sudden we see a billion tools that we've never seen before. But yeah, we've always paid monthly for our tools, and so we kind of just handpick the exact tools that we need, and we just subscribe to them because it makes sense. We're getting production out of the tools. So
yeah, I was hoping that Funnelbolt would be a replacement for Prospect Rocket. Are you familiar with that?
No, I'm not. Is that just like another prospecting? I'm sure we'll get
here's what it'll do. So if you want to like do an email sequence, let's say a 5 email sequence, like, so let's say it's a 5-day fire sale sequence. So you send an email once a day for 5 days. Soon as anyone opens up any one of those emails, what it will do is it will actually call your cell phone and say, so-and-so has just opened your email. Do you want me to connect you with them? And then it will use your Twilio account to call them for you. So you don't even have to dial or anything. You just,
where's their number coming from though? Where are you getting their contact?
It's a, well, you scraped that along with their email address.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you.
So it ties it all together.
Trigger
so it's got
a trigger that's happening when the email is open. It triggers a phone call to you. Press 1 to connect to the lead because they just opened up your email.
Yeah, exactly. So it's, you know, it kind of just makes it drop dead easy to get someone immediately in that hot zone of like 15 minutes when they've just opened your email and they're not in the middle. You know, if you call an hour later, they're doing something else, you know.
So I've done cold emailing for a really long time, and I've never done that strategy where I'm calling people who have opened my email, because I would be calling people all day long. Like, I send way too many emails to be calling those that just opened it. So for me, I sift through those because I let my follow-ups do the work. And then when they finally reply, that's who I'm spending my time with. I don't care about the ones that are opening my email and not responding to me. I don't got that kind of time. Okay. This call is on a calendar, right? And we have to squeeze everything we're talking about in a period of time, because I have other calls and things lined up on my calendar that are concreted, you see? And so this is the reason why, you know, you want to make sure that you use your time wisely. I mean, I'm at a point where I don't have enough time, so I have to spend it, you know, where it makes most sense. And that's why I sift through and only talk to those who reply, but not just reply positively and say, hey, call me. Here's my phone number.
Yeah. Or having a booking calendar link.
Or a booking calendar, but I don't even go as far as that, because then that's relying on the consumer or the person reading the email to do what you want them to do, which is click, find a time, you know, submit the questionnaires that you're probably going to add in there, hit submit, and then go all that process. Okay. Rather than the second they reply with anything, I'm calling them. Hey, what's going on? It's Angel. You just replied back to my email. You remember? That's it. I don't even reply back to the email. I just call them. Hey, what's going on? You reply back to me. I was just calling you because it's a little bit easier to just kind of walk you through our system. And they're okay with it, man. As long as I'm approaching it that way and not approaching it as, hey, what's going on? My name is Angel. I'm here. You email me and I'm here to sell you my stuff. How are you today? Like, no one's going to freaking, it's like, dude, get out of here. Bam, hang up the phone. So the approach is definitely important. So you don't want to just, hey, you just reply back to my email, like, you know, like, Jesus, dude, relax, bro. You know, like, say, hey, what's going on? My name is Angel. You just reply back to my email. You recall? You replied back maybe 10 minutes ago. Yeah. I actually sent you an email about, you know, generating more business. You remember? Oh, yeah. I was calling you because I want to ask you a few questions to see if it makes sense. And if it does, then we can schedule a better time where you're probably going to be, you know, you're probably busy right now because I just randomly called you. So we can find a better time where it makes more sense and we can sit comfortably behind your computer. You can see me, you can see my screen, and we can talk about what makes most sense for you. How's that sound? Bam. And I just go straight into probing questions, right? And I qualify them, set an appointment, and now they're going to be closed at whatever scheduled time we talked about, if it makes sense for them. Because I'm not going to take their money if it doesn't make sense for them. Right? And so that's kind of how I do it. And so that's just kind of how you want to think of it, and then use Funnelbolt as that nurturing. So if they don't buy, add them into a didn't buy campaign and feed them like testimonials and, hey, here's this free video I just created on YouTube talking about how to find your perfect, or how to create your offer, or whatever. It depends on your business. Everyone watching this video is going to have a different business model. So you just got to make sure you're adding value that's going to contribute to potentially one day buying from you. Educating, value driven, because the average human being, we talked about this in the Boost Accelerator, needs to consume about 7 hours of content before you actually qualify to ask for the sale. Right? When you think you did everything in a sales call perfectly to the T, you got a beautiful presentation, and they still didn't buy, it's because they are lacking trust in you your product or your business, one of those three. So feed them some more stuff. Hey, you didn't buy? That's totally cool, man. I just want to send you some stuff. I'm going to send that to you via email. Check it out. I want you to dive in, watch the videos. And, if you have any questions, you have our Facebook group. You can reply back to your email. Whatever you want to do, let me know. And I'll follow up with you here in about 7 days. How does that sound? Bam. And then bam, they got 7 days to consume content. We're going to post videos. We're going to post testimonials on our group, all types of stuff that they're going to consume before our next call. By that next call, they're going to be ready to buy, or maybe might need other stuff. And that's totally cool. Hey, not a problem, man. Here's some more stuff, and you're coming from a place of abundance versus desperation. You don't need their money. They need you more than you need them. That's the psychology. And so you're going to apply systems to, make that a reality. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
I just kind of went off on a tangent there, but.
Oh yeah. Well, that's great. Great stuff.
Hopefully that made sense. Awesome. So we have Bogdan Hiritu. What's going on, my man? Are you there?
He was messaging me privately. He said he's tied up with the kids.
Gotcha. So you're like daddy
Listening.
daycare today, Bogdan, like Jorden. Jorden is a full-time dad, okay, and entrepreneur, okay. So Bogdan,
I can
Jorden
relate.
can do it. And David, what do you have? You have 2, 3 kids? How many do you have? 3. Nice.
Yeah, I have 8-year-old twins, boy and a girl, and a 6-year-old boy.
Wow, nice. You got the twin game going. That's exciting. Were you expecting that, or was that just a surprise on the day of?
Well, we knew before they were born.
As in, like, going into it, were you expecting something like, or was it just like oh man, this is happening?
You're telling us all that you've never had kids, Angel. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, fun fact: my first kid is coming probably February. So yeah. So we're in that process right now. So first time. I didn't share this with anybody publicly yet, but you guys are a knit group. So there you go.
We'll put it on YouTube here in a minute.
Yeah, well, back in the old days, I guess people didn't know, but yeah, we had lots of sonograms. We knew there was twins. We knew that. I mean, at one point we found out it was twins, but and then it was after that they found out they were boy and girl, and yeah.
Oh wow, that's awesome, man.
You've been tired ever since, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like 20 diapers a day. And
I'm always wondering why Jorden doesn't show up with all this energy like I do. And it's like, oh, he's got the four kids, the 4 siblings. Plus, he wakes up at 4 a.m. to hit the gym. So, I mean, it's dedication right there. You get me? So, I respect all of you guys for putting in the work, because I'm about to be signed up. I'm signed up right now, really. I feel like I'm already a dad, but you know what I mean? Like, I take it as I start with the end in mind. So like, I'm calibrated already for it. And Jordan's my mentor. So he's on 4 kids, 2 horses, 3 dogs. What else, Jorden, do you got?
No, that's it. We only have one.
It's a lot more than average. So, I look up to him. He gives me advice. So does anybody else have any questions as far as business? Okay.
Sam said he was looking to put like all of his stuff together. I mean, is there anything that we could help you with right now? I mean, he's been through the accelerator and just trying to put together a game plan, I guess, while we're here. Is there something we can help you with?
What are you having trouble wrapping your head around, Sam? Like, where are you at, and what do you need to do today?
All of it. I mean, it's just kind of come up with a a first, second, third, like you're talking all this mail gun and Sendgrid, and I've got a G Suite because I needed a business email, and this is kind of why like I'm real hesitant about reaching out to anybody yet, because for me to have, I need that overview of everything, so that when I'm confident when I get somebody that I'm not like, oh my God, now what am I going to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So this is my suggestion, Sam, because right now you don't have the kind of time, neither does anyone on this call watching the replay or anything, to figure it all out, all of it. Okay. Because you need to focus on making money today, right? And then taking some of that, buying back some of your time so you can start to figure it all out, all the stuff that you're saying, right? Because all of that isn't going to make you any money.
Right.
You know, how many to figure all of this out, it might take you 3, 6 months, 12 months maybe. You might be in the same seat doing the same thing, figuring it all out for the entire next year. And that's the last thing you want to be doing, right? So the focus you should figure out now is, okay, what kind of clients do you want to work with? What kind of clients is that, if you could choose your ideal client, the type of client that you would like to work with?
Yeah, well, I want to work with the the med spa one.
Med spas.
Okay, med spas. Go find yourself an agency that already serves med spas at a very high level, that has great results, okay, that you can literally call up and say, hey, my name is Sam. I'm looking for an agency that serves med spas, that has a great offer, great customer service, and returning customers. I'm looking to just do some sales and bring you guys clients. Do you guys mind if I use some of your case studies to show my clients so I can bring you more business? And then we can work out an arrangement where, you know, when I bring you the client, you give me a kickback of some sort. Now, Sam, all of a sudden, you have to, you forget everything else that you're doing and just go into the Boost Accelerator prospecting module and go get yourself some clients and plug in the offer the agency is going to give you into the script and run that into the market and get some raised hands for that offer. Go through the consultation, because the agency will give you, okay, well, how does it work? Because for me to sell it, you need to just give me an overview of how your system works. And they'll tell you, okay, well, we do it like this. We generate our ads like this, and then we put them like through this system. And then this thing happens. And then the client gets this and this and that and this and that. And you'll know exactly everything that you're saying that you're trying to figure out. They'll give it to you on a silver platter. And then you're going to go out to market with that exact thing, okay? And you're going to sell it, and then they're going to fulfill it, and you're going to make a cut for being the point of contact and connecting this med spa with this agency, and you're getting paid to be their account manager. Okay, the agency on the back end isn't going to talk to your client. You're in charge of that client. That's your account. You're being paid as a consultant. Okay. They're hiring your agency for lead generation, and you're going to contract that med spa agency that you talk to, okay, to fulfill the service. And you're just going to charge, you're going to ask them to give you a partner price. You're just going to charge a margin on that based on what you want to make. And then you're going to go out and market with that. And you're just going to make a clean $500 or a clean $1,000 without having to lift a finger, besides just having to communicate with your client, the med spa, if they have any questions, which you just take those questions and ask the agency to answer them for you. And you're like the messenger in between this person and that person.
Okay.
That's what I would do.
Okay.
That way you can start making sales next week.
Okay. So like practically with that, you can get into some of these, like Facebook ads groups or whatever, and just use the search tool. And once you get into those groups, just use the search tool and search med spa as a keyword, or med spa media buyer, or something like that. And you'll see if other people have posted similar questions, and you'll also see who is being recommended the most. And
you can also just make your own post in those
groups. Make your own post. You can do that.
You can say, hey, what's going on, guys? I'm looking for a professional med spa media buyer who has great results, tons of clients, returning customers, and that can fulfill my clients' work, because my focus is going to be, sales and account management. And, I just need someone that I can partner with to do the fulfillment for me. If that's you, let me know below, comment, PM me. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. That's it.
Yeah. And what you'll find is in kind of how that conversation works is if you ask, and you can post in the group too, like, hey, I've got this guy, what do I ask? He told me this, what else should I ask? And you can ask, when you ask questions specific to their offer and how they do things, you can then direct the conversation when you are reaching out to med spas. So like the next step would be, okay, now how do you outreach to med spas? The easiest way that I've found, you don't have to worry about email or anything like that, is just getting on Facebook, typing
Or
in
LinkedIn.
or LinkedIn, Facebook or LinkedIn, just typing in med spa and messaging them.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and if you've talked to your media buyer, you know generally what to expect as far as like how many leads they can produce, what their costs are, and
You literally tell them to give you your offer. That's it. You just, hey, what's the offer you give to med spas? Let them tell you what to put in the messaging. Don't even invent it. Just be like, hey, you've closed hundreds of med spas. What's the offer? What do they buy? And then you take that offer, go to LinkedIn or Facebook, type in med spas. I help med spas, plug in offer. Do you need help with this? Start that conversation. And then you can literally, okay, well, what kind of, you ask the agency, well, what kind of questions do you want me to ask to make sure they're a good fit for your program? And they'll tell you, oh, well, we want to know if they have this many employees, or they want to know if they do this type of service, or they want to know that they have this trouble or this pain or whatever it is. They'll tell you. And then you're going to just have a conversation with the med spa who replied, yes, I'm interested in learning more. And you're going to ask them the questions that the agency is going to give you. And you're going to be like, okay, great. Sounds like you're a good fit, and then talk to the agency whether they want you to push that appointment to them and they close the deal and you get paid after they close it, or if you're not comfortable closing it yourself initially, or, you closing them yourself and then just bringing them the client. You just got to figure out what you think you're comfortable with right now, right? If you have a really good offer and you're talking to the right person, they should close, you see? But if you're not confident getting to that point, okay, then maybe negotiate with the agency. It's like, hey, but if I get you someone interested, do you have a team in place that can close a deal that I can just, push the lead or connect them with them and maybe group, like maybe you add that person on Facebook and you group, you have a conversation that's happening on chat. And then when you're ready to talk to the sales guy, it's like, okay, well, let me connect you with Johnny Doe over here, who's the, med spa specialist that will take it from here. And then Johnny Doe is from that med spa team or whatever, that agency team, and he'll close the deal for you. And then you get a cut for essentially setting that appointment. So you either get a cut by setting the appointment and they close the deal, or a bigger cut if you set the appointment and close the deal yourself and then fulfill it through them. So depending on what your skill set is, you could still pay the bills though if you just set appointments every single day. You see, so figure out what your comfort zone is. And then you'll have some cash coming through and you'll get some momentum and you're going to feel really good about this because you're winning. Okay. And then you can start inventing and playing around with some of your cash that you got and figure out what you want to do with your business. Whether you like the model that you're in or you want to build the model yourself and put it all in your in-house yourself and build all that stuff from, scratch and all the departments and all that. It's an operation, man, to have all the businesses, all the departments working, cohesively with each other. So that's the fast path. That's exactly what I would do right now for you, Sam. Forget all of the extra stuff. If it doesn't have to do right now with you connecting with someone who already has an offer that you can go sell to the market right today, don't do it. Your homework this week is to go find someone that has a great offer that's in the niche that you want to work in and that's okay working with you on a, where they can do the fulfillment and you can basically use their case studies in order to go out and prospect and show your prospects, hey, look at the work we've done. We'd love to do something similar for you. Do you have some time to talk? And then, you know, that way it gives you credibility, leverage, and you can say, yeah, we've worked with this med spa and this med spa and this med spa. We've worked with hundreds of med spas, because the second they give you the okay or permission to use their case studies, now all of a sudden you go from Sam one-man band to Sam who's worked with hundreds of med spas, right? And then you can even build your own landing page and use their stuff all over it, because now you're selling for them. Make sense? That's what I would do.
Okay, I'm gonna get to work on that.
I would remove everything else you're doing that has nothing to do that isn't that, because that alone will make you money starting next week. If you could just get that partnership set up, which is not hard. That's like you calling my agency and saying, hey, Angel, I would love to sell for you. Can I use your case studies to show my clients, and I can bring you more clients? It's like, you'd be stupid to say no to that. You see, unless you got some ego problem or something. You see what I mean? So that's what I would do. And you have a million agencies that are looking for people like you that could just plug into their systems. They can show you everything that they got, and they just need more hands. They need more help. And then that'll give you income right now, and it'll allow you to play around with all the other things that you want to do, because that whole thing you're doing over here isn't paying the bills. Make sense?
Yeah.
So just focus on that thing, on what's going to move the needle right now. And David, oh, you didn't have a question. No, you're good, right? Do you have any questions, David?
That's all that comes to mind right now.
Awesome, guys.
I mean, I just need to dig into the tool a little more and get familiar with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're going to definitely want to dive into the tool, play around, and maybe create some test campaigns, integrate your Sendgrid and Twilio account, and then just kind of play around with it, triggering the campaigns, moving the deals from one stage to the other, making sure that the triggers are firing. And then we also have the free training area, which I don't know if you're in, David, that goes through how to like set up the zaps and stuff. Jorden made a training on that, walks you through how to integrate everything and all that cool stuff. So.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to go through it yet, but I plan to.
Awesome. Does anyone have any other questions? We have about 11 minutes left here. Sam's already getting to work, contacting agencies. That's awesome. Bogdan, you got any questions, brother? You can unmute yourself if you want. No questions?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, like even like with Sam and kind of what we've been talking about, like we've done each of these models, and it just depends on the niche and if you know the niche. So like if we see that there is opportunity in a market that we don't know, then I'm gonna reach out to somebody that does know that market really well, and I can do one of two things. I can spend the time and learn it, which isn't making me any money, or I can find somebody that's already gone through all that, already has learned, you know, the hooks and the catches and all that kind of stuff, and basically partner with them. All the while I'm generating revenue and getting used to that niche at the same time. And you know, it really just depends on where you're at. If you know a niche and you've done some advertising and you're aware of all of the changes that Facebook has made in the last 6 months, and you can still like, you know, generate quality leads off of that, like by all means, reach out, tell the business exactly what, you know, like I've been in the roofing industry for a long time. Like I know it like the back of my hand. I can sell it no problem. That's a different story than me going to med spas. Like I don't know that space very well, and when I talk to a med spa owner, like I probably sound like an idiot. So that's when you reach out to people that sell them all the time, they're going to say, okay, well, here's our offer, here's why it works, and you know, it's a good offer. It's a no-brainer offer for them. It's much easier for me to have a conversation with them because I'm going to ask the right questions. So it really depends on what you want to do. And I would honestly say the quickest way to cash is exactly what we've been explaining in the last 10, 15 minutes. because you're going to get used to all the lingo, and you're going to get used to all the problems, all the issues.
Yeah, you're having the same conversation over and over again.
Yeah, and what expectations to set and all that kind of stuff. And the best way to learn any niche is to like pick up the phone
and just
call.
have conversations.
And if you know nothing about the niche, if you can just get somebody on the phone and just ask them questions like, hey, how are you guys doing in business right now? Are you busy enough? They're either going to tell you they're swamped, which that's going to tell you something about their market, or they're going to tell you they're struggling. And if they tell you they're struggling, you can ask them, why are you struggling? And then they're just going to tell you. And
or a really good question to ask is like, okay, well, what are your goals with your business?
Yeah.
Where are you trying to take it in the next year? Where are you trying to take it in the next 30 days? So you can get a pulse of like the caliber of how serious they are about growing their business. Because if your solution is growing their business, right, then you got to figure out if there's even a pain for that. If they're not in pain, and they're like, oh, my business is freaking booming across the board. I've signed up every COVID patient, period. Okay. Because they're just booming for whatever reason. Then you obviously can't help them. So, maybe that industry might not be a good, if you're getting that same answer across multiple people, there's a trend there that you can learn from. And the trend is, well, maybe this industry doesn't need our help right now. Right? So a couple things that I look for when picking an industry is one, the margins. Okay. The margins that I can make from actually doing the business itself. Okay. Second thing is their lifetime value of a new customer, what that number looks like. So if I know, for example, one of my industries that I'm in is insurance. Okay. And Medicare. Okay. That's one of my niches. Okay. And I know that if when they close a new person on Medicare, they make $550 on the front end, and they make $270 every year after that for at least 10 years. So I know that lifetime value is about $3,200 or something dollars per new person that they enroll into Medicare. So that is a good number to know, because, it makes sense to jump into this industry because that margin is nice, and I can charge way under that to the point where they can then justify paying me to make $3,200, right? So the other thing I'm looking at least specifically for me, is scalability. Okay. Insurance is a scalable niche because you can have David sit right there in his office and he can be licensed in all 50 states. And David could take hundreds of appointments from the comfort of his home behind his computer screen and close deals. If you're talking about a roofer can only service a 10-mile radius or whatever, 30-mile radius. Oh, the big top guys, maybe 50-mile radius. But they're the ones okay driving 2 hours north or 2 hours south or even longer than that to make maybe 3 or 4 or 5 grand, right? That makes sense, right? But what you have there is a cap, though. A cap as to how much you can scale. Because I can't generate.
Going to be the same way. Med spa will be the same way.
Med spa is going to be the same thing. So generally, you know, you're at a cap. With insurance, I have people buying thousands of leads per month. You see, because it's infinitely scalable and you can put a call center to work. And just like solar, I'll give you a couple industries: solar, debt consolidation. Give me some more, Jorden. Insurance.
Mortgage.
Insurance is also great because it's ongoing. It's not a one-pop deal.
Correct.
Like I'm getting a new driveway and it's going to be like 10 grand, but I won't need another driveway for a long time.
Correct. Right. Correct. And not only that, but insurance covers so many different things. Like it could be, so Jorden, his specialty is insurance for like roofs and storm damage and things of that nature, where people get complete replacements of their roofs and all types of stuff. Okay. From paid by their insurance, and all they pay there's a deductible of like $2 grand. And if they have to pay it, because then they can use their insurance money to pay that. So they don't really have to pay anything down to get a whole completely replaced. So there's so much opportunity. And the whole point of this is to just let you know, like, if you're going to dive into a niche, make sure it's worth your time, because it's going to take the same amount of energy to jump into one niche than it is going to jump into the other and to learn all of that.
Yeah. And if the margin, why the margin is important, you think about like your cost per acquisition. Like if my margin is this, but my cost per acquisition is this, it doesn't make any sense to advertise. So it is, as far as a marketing agency is concerned, the math always has to make sense. So the margin on the product is very important, and the lifetime value on that customer is important, because that's going to determine how much money you have to acquire those new customers for the business.
Mm-hmm.
So
the other thing too is Sam looks confused.
No, I'm just thinking, because what about like massage parlor, like the spa, not necessarily like a med spa, but a spa, because people love to get those massages like at least every month, every couple of weeks.
So don't get reoccurring businesses confused with scalable businesses. Reoccurring, like landscape, okay, you're gonna earn a client, you're gonna get your lawn mowed every month, unless you're crazy and you like jungle status, and then you shave it off every 6 months and then you go back to it again. That doesn't make any sense. Or pool cleaners. Pool cleaners, you have a pool, you're going to get it maintained every month or every 2 weeks or something. Reoccurring, right? So reoccurring businesses, that's what you're saying. That's what you're talking about in spas. People like massages. Jorden gets a massage every other day. I mean, people like Jorden, they go all the time. Okay. and that's their preference, but that's a reoccurring business, not necessarily a scalable, because I can't close a massage in New York when I'm in Colorado, unless I do a virtual massage, which is a little weird. Okay. But that's not even a thing. Okay. Unless it's some type of virtual coaching that I'm doing or something, that's different. If I'm teaching people how to massage, I can go and scale that to the moon. But when you're talking about the physical labor of doing the thing, you can't scale that outside of the 15-mile radius that the HQ, where the little lady is that's doing it. Okay. She's not going to do business that, one, doesn't come to her. Okay. Because she's not a travel massage person, you see. So there you have a cap. You can't generate clients, let's say, an hour away for that med spa. Because, one, no one the heck is going to drive an hour to get a massage. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's not scalable. When you're thinking about solar, for example, you have call centers who have hundreds of agents on the phone that are talking to people from all over the US and selling them solar panels from the comfort of an office on a phone call. All right, this is the size of your roof. Okay, great. Here, I see an aerial view of your roof. Okay, perfect. And then it looks like you need this many panels for this amount of electricity. Oh, here's the contract.
I hear they could use some solar panels in Texas.
Texas is huge for solar. California, Texas, Colorado, Florida, huge markets for that. Okay, but it's also across the US. So the whole point of everything I'm saying is just to kind of differentiate the different types of businesses. You have recurring businesses like landscape, pool cleaners, and things like that. You have high ticket businesses like roofers who higher ticket, like 15,000, 20,000. Okay. But they don't get the reoccurring. It's just a big ticket. So if you were going to pick a small local business, at least pick either a high ticket or a reoccurring business, minimum standard. Don't go find a florist, someone who sells flowers, who makes $3 or 50 cents off of a bouquet of flowers, and they're not going to get that client again until freaking maybe 4 Valentine's Day from now. Okay. So that is not a good business to be in, because, one, it's not high ticket, neither is it reoccurring. We got that.
That's the difference, Sam. You asked about like just like a regular salon or something like that. A med spa is going to be a higher ticket, higher margin, more recurring. My wife she does hair, so like I know this industry pretty well, and I've actually done some marketing just pro bono for them because they're good friends of our family. The margin on a salon is like paper thin, And if they do any advertising, he's not going to actually make money until like the third or fourth show, because the cost to get that person in
equals like 3 visits.
Yeah, it's like if it costs you $20 to $50 to get that person in, and they're just coming in for a haircut, and probably the only reason they're coming in is because you're offering them some kind of discount on top.
Yep.
They don't make money until like that third or fourth show. So you have to you have to know the business and know like, okay, who's getting these appointments and how are you paying them? Is it your veteran person that's been around for a while and can retain clients? Or are you sending these new people to the new person that you just hired that you have no idea what their retention is? So like it may not make any sense unless you're doing like branding. But if you're doing like massages or something, because I'm so experienced in massages apparently, it's still the same. It's the same thing. Like generally they want to make about $1 per minute, right? So you're like 60 to 70 bucks. The only way that you can get a new person to come in is if you're going to offer them like $10 or $20 off to get in, and then they may not rebook.
Yeah, you got to have that sales process needs to be dialed in for that.
The margin on a normal salon or a masseuse or even like photography, like these are great businesses to get clients. Like, don't get me wrong. Like you can get clients in these niches, like no problem.
Your sales process is broken.
Because they're hurting, and they're hurting not all the time, but generally they're hurting for a reason. So you can generate leads for these people, no problem. The problem is the churn on them being your client is going to be through the roof because they don't have any margin. So by the time, and think about what they're going to pay you too. So like the margin just on the ads and just on the acquisition is like this. Then you want at least $500 a month to do it. And I would recommend even more than that, especially if you're going to set all their crap up. It's going to take $1,500 to $3,500 just for you to get stuff set up right to where your ads even work. And then
they're in the hole 3,500, and now they're looking at making the money back. And then if they don't make it back in that first month, the chance of them renewing with you are this big.
The last 5 minutes is what every done for you agency course or whatever will never tell you, because you will work your tail off for a year.
Earn clients and then burn them.
Yes, you will work your tail off for a year and you will acquire 20, 30 clients. And at the end of the year, you will have none of them on recurring. And it's because the value of the client and the margin on them and the lifetime value never makes any sense for them to pay you a high ticket to run their marketing unless they've got like a $60K marketing budget that they've got allocated, which if you're going to get to that point, you're not dealing with the mom and pop shops anyway.
Yeah.
Then they can actually pay you, but they're actually outsourcing an employee at that point. If they have the budget to do that, great.
The alternative
to different type of business.
The alternative to this is, and you have to be just really freaking good at what you do, is educating them on how to build their sales process once the new patient comes through the door, or once that new client comes through the door. It's like, hey, this is what you need to implement ASAP in order for this to work. Because if you don't implement this, the amount of money you can make per client is this. And that is not enough to scale your business. That is not enough to pay yourself. That is not enough to pay your employees. That's not enough to do anything. And so because of that, I'm going to guide you into how to take a patient or a client that comes through your door today and ascend them up your value ladder that we're going to build together. And if you don't have one, I'm going to guide you into how I would build it if I were you, and how we would package up your programs based on the services that you have and bundle those all up. So then you can charge, $500 for this membership here, and you could charge, $1,000 for this bundle of this many acupuncture, whatever the heck. And then you got this, and you have to be really knowledgeable as to how to be able to package up their business. You're literally building their business for them, which is not the business that we are in. by the way. Okay. And if that's what you're working on doing, I would save you a lot of time, effort, energy, and money right now. I would say stop what you're doing and focus on the businesses that need help scaling their current business that already is working and that is productive. So if you find a med spa that says, okay, well, yeah, once we get a patient in the door, we can make about $3 or $4 grand off of them because, you know, they come in for this thing and then we show them this thing. And then a lot of them convert to this thing and to this wellness plan and to this thing. And we sell them supplement. They have a whole operation dialed in and you don't have to touch anything. All you have to do is get them one human being in the door. You see, if that's the client you're talking to, they're not going to have an issue paying your bill. And two, all you're going to have to do is what we do best, generate people to come through to their office or to their thing. And they handle everything else. But because their systems are dialed in, now all of a sudden they're going to say, Sam, hey, your system works. Versus if you're talking to what Jorden mentioned before, the person who's, you know, just charges the $20 initially for that massage and then expects that to turn into $10,000 somehow. Okay. You're in the wrong business.
Unless you're becoming a business strategy consultant, in which
case
you're not in the business charging more.
Well, you're not in the business of building businesses. You're in the process of building your own business here. So what the hell are you doing building someone else's business? You see what I mean? You're in the business of scaling businesses that are already making money, that need more customers. That is the business that we are in. That is the business that you'll be able to plug into, and they'll be like, hey, I have this many customers sitting on the shelf and I haven't sold anything to them. Then you take that list and plug them into Funnelbolt, throw a freaking reactivation campaign in there and take 10, 15% of those that have been sitting on the shelf, turn those into appointments that turn into thousands of dollars for your client. And that's just your first impression. Mm-hmm. But you're able to do that because you're working with an established business that's already making moolah. Okay? If you're not making moolah and you're trying to teach someone else how to make moolah, that's the blind leading the blind. Okay? And so you want to be in the business of doing what you do and how to do it is scaling, getting more attention to their business and brand, and then letting them to do the work. Because you're not a med spa owner. You're not an esthetician. Okay, so you need to back off the second you generate that patient that comes to their doors.
This has been great. I got to run, but thanks a lot. This has been really good.
This is all recorded, David, so no worries. All right, take it easy, brother. Great having you, man.
Thanks. You too. Take care.
So I know this has gone a little bit over, about 10 minutes over, but you know this will be recorded, and I think this is going to shed a lot of value to those who watch the replay. And I think Jorden, I think this is almost a masterclass in itself. Just the last like 6 or 7 minutes, we might just snip it out and make it its own kind of like training, so people know to watch this. You know what I mean? Because unless they watch the whole thing, they won't get that.
I know I got a lot to rethink. That's for sure.
Sam went from like happy to like all of a sudden he was like this to like all back relaxed. Like Sam, you've gone through a lot of cycles.
Yeah,
that's
the biggest
okay.
thing,
you know, I don't mind because I'm learning. You know, and if I have to rethink everything, then it's really no loss because all I would have done was lost more time and money anyway.
Yeah, and we've already done that, Sam.
Yeah,
we've already
lost a lot of time, but I really haven't invested a lot of money.
Yeah, well, it's either, so there's only two types of currencies, time or money, okay? Yeah. Time is worth more than money. I can go make a call right now and make more money. I can't make a call and make more time. Right. So time is actually your priority. Time is worth more than your money. People can't pay me enough for an hour of my time.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So well, let's leave it at that. I think this was great. Thank you so much for everyone who joined, and thank you for everyone who's watching the replay. Give us some feedback in our Facebook group to tell us how we're doing and if this was even valuable to you, because that's essentially the reason why we're doing it, because we at least think that it's valuable. So we need feedback to just kind of confirm that this makes sense to keep doing. So thank you so much for everybody who's on here. I hope everyone had a happy Memorial Day. It's a brand new month, so let's freaking rock this thing, and we will see you guys next week, Wednesday.
Thanks, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Take it easy, guys. Bye-bye.
See ya.